I think that's too much, but it was what it was. So you learn how to do certain things in your head. But I wish I didn't have to. Even with formulas. I have close to eidetic memory. I can memorize formulas, but I don't. It's better for me if I know how to actually derive that formula. If I don't remember it, all I have to do is drive the goddamn formula. And I have done that in the past, in my PhD program. In fact, it was in the comprehensive exam. And the first question was, here's the formula for calculating value of a growing annuity. Prove that that is the case. Or derive, well, yeah, that's what it said. I didn't remember anything about it, didn't even cover it, so I went from first principles and tried it, done. But if you can do it in a civilized way, do it in a civilized way. Our second argument is going to be length, or let's say, call it time in years. So I'm going to put 9.75 here, just an arbitrary number at this point. Our third argument is compounding frequency. For now, I'll put 12. If you do monthly, it's 12. Weekly, 52. Daily, 365. Semi-annual, 2. Quarterly, 4. Continuous compounding, it's technically infinite, but not going there. And on the last one, I left that to the last for key purposes. That's going to be a dollar figure, so let me format that cell and at that. As it's dollar, so I like putting money in dollar format, and it's all about communication. Calculation-wise, nothing changes. But somebody that uses a spreadsheet knows that's money. This is going to be, if I'm doing future value, my input is present. I'm going from present to future. If I'm doing present value, I'm coming down from future to present. So I'm going to do the same thing for tag. Again, for calculation wise, this is just target. This is just cosmetics. Okay? If this thing equals 1, I'm going to call this present value. Otherwise, future value. Okay. And all that is about label. We haven't done any calculations yet. Similarly, I'm going to make this target value tag. If I'm going from present to future, that's going to be the future. That's my target. And vice versa. If this little thing, of course I have to write if here first. Is equal to 1. It's going to be future value, otherwise present value. Okay. So in this case, my input is future, my output is present. So I'm doing this kind of thing. Now my input is present, my output is future. Okay. There's only one thing left to do. Write the formula for finding the future value. I'm going to write the Excel formula to calculate the future value given these inputs. Or if I'm doing present value, I'm going to do the same thing to calculate the present value given these inputs. Since this is future, let me enter the formula here. Excel has a function called FV, which is short for future value, okay? Or final value if you think about it. If you don't remember the syntax, hit that little FX button. I call that function helper. I have used it recently, but if I had not, I'm going to go to financial, hit FV, find the function. It tells you exactly what the inputs are, okay? And what they represent. The first one is a rate, okay? It is the interest rate per period. But our interest rate is in APR form. So I'm going to take that APR, divide that by compounding frequency, okay? So 0.000228 is the interest rate. The second argument is number of periods. Take the time in years, multiply that by compounding frequency. The third argument, if you are doing repeated payments, for example, mortgage or car loans, that will go to non-zero. But for now, it's zero. Here in this case, what is the present value? And that's the present value, okay? It actually calculated a negative number. That's because Microsoft probably allowed some accountant to write the code for that. And accountants things in terms of debits and credits. You know, if I'm paying money now and getting money later, they have different signs as far as an accountant is concerned. And it's easy to put a negative in front, okay? So this basically says, let me change the number to 10%. If you invest $1,000 for 9.75 years, monthly compounding at 10%, you're going to end up with $26.40 and some change. Okay? If I change any of the inputs weekly, it's different. Remember, I'm still in the setup mode. In the setup mode, what I had in the left-hand formula is a value, is the result of the formula. Given the inputs, what's the result? So if I'm doing future value, that's the equation, right? If I tell you F, APR, T, and PV, in setup mode, the number you read is the result. Or alternatively, now, I only wrote the formula for future value, but the formula for present value is exactly the same, except instead of FV, we're going to use P. Okay? So I'm going to be civilized again. First, if you double click on any cell that has a formula, you actually see the formula in line. This formula bar doesn't zoom up and down with the sheet, but in line it does. So it may be easier to see. So I'm going to copy all of that. Okay? And I'm going to come back to the beginning. If that's equal to 1, I know I'm dealing with future value. That's the formula. I've already done that. Comma. What to do if that is not the case. I'm going to paste what I copied. Thankfully, the structure is exactly the same, except the name of the Excel function is PV. So if I change that, this says, if you're going to get $1,000 9.75 years from now, and an interest rate of 10%, you keep the compounding, that's equivalent to 3.77. Okay? I'm going coming from future down to present. All right. Now, I want to solve a different problem. Let's go back to talking. If the interest rate is 3%, how long it's going to take me to double my money? Right? Now, rule of 72 says about 24 years. But, I'm kind of anal about these things. I want to know exactly how long. First, I'm going to do my setup. I want to go from $1 to 2, but it's money. I don't like small numbers. I'm going to go from, first of all, they're doing a future value. I'm going to go from 10,000 to 20,000. That's my future value. I'm going to assume I know everything else except how long it's going to take. So when I click on this cell, you see that there's a little drop-down box, okay? That comes through actually something called data validation. There's not even any code in there. I'm gonna need time in years. That's my unknown. I'm gonna tell you compounding frequency is weekly, present value 10,000, APR is 10%, and I will end up with 20. I want to solve how long it's going to take. Once I have it, double click on the red light, the solver mode. Voila, we're done. As you can see, the color is all the unknown after that change.